Good morning. Let's have a look at yesterday's plays, or non-plays. The favourites were too hot, as you can see with Cameroon and Gambia. So don't forget the relationship between short odds and expected goals. 1.06, I would look at 5-0, 7-0, 9-0, or 4-0, 6-0, 8-0. That's the only bit of luck you'll need, whether it's going to be evens or odd, and hopefully a clean sheet. That's what we'd expect at such a short-priced favourite. That's why it's a good correct score play, because you can limit your correct scores to 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, 8-0. You've got a very small choice, so you've got a good chance of hitting it. And ignore, of course, the 1-0 and 2-0. That's not really factored in to 1.06. Real Oviedo and Eibar in the head-to-heads this season. The home team won. So a good result for Eibar this yesterday. Second leg will be at their home venue. They're going to be feeling confident if a seasonal form is anything to go by. Don't forget, they were the side that finished third in La Liga 2. For me, big enough points gap between them and Oviedo to suggest that they were the better side, Eibar, over the season. So I'm hopeful second leg. I'll be looking out for this second leg. I'll be favouring Eibar. And in the Finnish Veikkausliiga, KUPS, as dominant as I would have expected. So what a pity that their opponent didn't read the script, Oulu, and score first. This was a play waiting to happen. This would have been my go-to match of the day as far as being a banker and expecting KUPS to deliver, as I'm expecting this page to deliver eventually. Come on, don't be shy. First goal, 43rd minute penalty, and that pretty much left us without a trading angle, which was a pity. But they are a dominant force, well worth following this season, already provided us with a couple of positive, profitable trades. Ekenas and Guinistan, two newly promoted sides, could be anything. Didn't have an angle for this at all, this 1-0 win. Well, you saw with England's loss to Iceland and with Romania's inability to score against Liechtenstein in friendlies that we have to tread warily with these friendlies. And a good result for me. Portugal 1, Croatia 2. If we can take anything out of this. I did put forward a back of Croatia in the winners' market for the Euros. And look who's still playing. He must be nearly as old as Joe Biden now, old Luka Modric. It would be wonderful to see him this summer. He could be the difference. Such a quality act. So watch out for Croatia. 130 or thereabouts in the winners' market, or was it 50s? I'm getting them mixed up with Turkey. Turkey 130, Croatia about 50s. Very good value. They keep turning up in major semi-finals, don't they? The Swiss did get an equaliser against Austria. This, again, the vagaries of friendlies. I wouldn't have expected such an emphatic win for the Serbians yesterday. This is what I keep repeating to you. Try not to be dragged in to playing friendlies, okay? Exactly as we expect, but could have done with one goal more for the Belgians. Remember, I like to start 4-0, 6-0, 8-0. And again, Northern Ireland not reading the script. I don't tend to put correct score wins to 1. I would do 5-0, 7-0, 9-0, for example. But that was a pity. Northern Ireland opening goal. Could have got involved there in the first half market, given the expectation for goals for that 1.14 before half-time. Look at this, Pedri, Morata and Ruiz. Not going to be meeting sides like this, Northern Ireland, every day of the week. Oyarzabal as well. Looks like they put out a very strong 11, but this is the problem we have. The second leg is completely different. You can tell all the work was done in the first leg. Second leg, completely different. Could be a change in tactics. Second leg, I don't know what they're aiming at. But you can see this is a problem with friendlies. But emphatic performance. Could have played that arguably yesterday. If you're going to break the rules and get involved in friendlies. But that looks a more obvious play, doesn't it? And if you get involved in a half-time market there, at least you're limiting your liability, knowing it is a friendly. Only Iga Swiatek yesterday in the tennis, and I wouldn't have put you off laying her after winning the first set because they're so deep in the competition. Only once has Paolini dropped an opening set this French Open. An obvious, huge differential here in the rankings. But well worth doing. If you laid at 6-2, liability would be extremely low. Absolutely nothing to worry about. Now you can see we're heading towards Wimbledon way, aren't we, with Hergettenbosch. The qualifiers, Grass, Halle, I think, Stuttgart, Grass. It's London next, Wimbledon next. I've already got my bank loan of £30,000 out so I can get 5 strawberries and a bit of cream. And I'll have, I think they'll give me £5 change for that. So be careful if you're heading off to Wimbledon. Them strawberries cost a pretty penny. So it's great to see the English leg or the grass court leg as we're reaching the finals. And we've got Alexander Zverev and Alcaraz. Zverev has really been eye-catching. Alcaraz has lost a set or two and has been on the end of some competitive matches. This, for me, got 5-setter written all over it, and I'll do as I did. Although this didn't profit, I will look to lay the first player to reach 2-0 or 2-1 in sets, because the next player will have to win the next set. That would be a ready angle in. It's a top 4 clash. It's going to be very difficult to split these two. So I'm expecting 5 sets. It's logical, really, isn't it? And I think those odds are far too short for Alcaraz, given what Alexander Zverev has done this season, or this tournament. Far too short. So I would be keener to lay Alcaraz if he wins the first set or if he's 2-0 up, because his odds are going to be far, far shorter. It's still in qualification mode for the singles, so I'll leave that up to you if you want to play. But it's great to see the grass court element coming on board. Let's have a look at today's footy. Again, it's quiet. It's really, I should be taking a holiday really at this stage of the season because you won't be missing me. World Championship qualifiers again. The problem we have with these African teams largely is that they're all very highly ranked, badly ranked, I mean. Apart from Senegal, Tunisia, the North African sides tend to be highly ranked. One of the highest ranked sides in African football, Tunisia. Senegal were as well. So an air of reliability, famous last words, for these two. Sporting Gijón and Espanyol. Promotion playoffs. Is this the first or second leg? First leg. So all to play for. Absolutely nothing I can offer you. And the market's not giving you anything either, with a 2.5 the favourite quote. We've got my favourite league on the planet, the Obos-Ligaen. All of these teams are managed by Arthur Daly, Derek and Rodney Trotter. Not very reliable. But having said that, Kongsvinger have had an excellent start to the season. Can they keep delivering? Let's have a quick look at my conclusions. 1.91 looking suspiciously high, I concluded, for Kongsvinger. Does the market know something we don't? Only 2 wins for Arlesund did come in the last match, 4-1. That ended a run of 4 consecutive home defeats. No clean sheet for Arlesund, so we're expecting them to concede. Only 1 loss for Kongsvinger, was an out-of-the-blue 5-0 away defeat. When I say it looks suspiciously high for Kongsvinger, I mean I'm expecting the odds to be a lot shorter. So in that regard, I'm wondering whether the market's factored in perhaps an injury to a key striker. But you'll note here, these odds were from William Hill earlier on in the week. They're now 1.67 with Bet365, gone down from evens earlier on in the week. So maybe it was an injured player who's returned into the fold, because you see that huge drop in the odds now to 1.67. But I'll leave the quote here at 1.91, which is indeed, I was spot on, did look suspiciously high. And in future if you see those words. Well, it'll have to be early on in the week. Just saying, if I see it suspiciously high, why not back Kongsvinger at those odds if they're available on the exchange? Bryn and Asane. No draw for Bryn this season. 5 wins in 6 at home. Looks to justify those warm odds. But the problem that I have is they're walking that tightrope of the old Tony Pulis 1-0 wins, where you're not allowed to make a defensive mistake. Otherwise, there's no plan B. If you can't score that second goal, there's no plan B. Only 2 wins for Asane were 1-0, coincidentally. That, for me, suggests an insurance play if Asane score first today. This looks one of the more readable matches, a bit like KUPS yesterday, and I'll certainly be looking at Bryn with interest at 4 o'clock. Do expect a goal before half-time, but that said, if this is a 1-0 limping to the line again from Bryn, we might not see that goal before half-time. Bryn tend to win at home and are now scoring 2+ goals at home, so that might change the complexion of our confidence there. 4 out of 4 wins at home against 11th and lower, playing 13th today. Mjøndalen, truly managed by Derek and Rodney Trotter. Mjøndalen, wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them. But both teams have scored in all by 1 match all season. No 0-0 at half-time. No clean sheets. Really good angles. Neutral angles. Both teams to score goals before half-time. All neutral plays, which can involve both teams. 12th against 11th, so they're both at the wrong end of the table. Against 8th and lower, Mjøndalen are undefeated, but they've had 4 1-1 draws, which is a concern. They do tend to score in the first half as well, so if it's 0-0 after 10 minutes, you might want to look at the possibility of a goal before half-time. Only 2 wins for Ranheim, but they've had 3 draws away and 3 defeats, failing to score just once. So we might see that both teams to score come in for Mjøndalen. Watch out for their 1-1 sequences as well. They're very troubling. Sogndal and Egersund. Well, this Egersund, again, it typifies this Tippeligaen for me. They're a side, let's have a look at them away from home. Total goals now, 7-6, 3-4, 7-9 goals in total. But in the last 2 matches, albeit being at home, they've had 3 goals in total and 1 goal in total, failing to score that second goal. Why this sudden lurch from scoring an absolute shed load? We've had 2 recent away results for Egersund, 4-3 and 4-5. Now suddenly at home, they limp to a 1-0 defeat. I don't understand. Or was it a 1-0 win? Because we did lay the draw in the last match, expecting an avalanche of goals, which didn't occur in a 1-0 win. So that's the negative I've got coming into this match. Which Egersund turns up today? The goal-fest Egersund that you see away from home, or the 1-0 win that you saw in the last home match? On seasonal patterns, we'd be expecting over 5.5 goals. You might want to back that, particularly, again, as I say, if it's 0-0 after 10 minutes, you'll get a bump up in the over 5.5s. Why? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4 of 6 away matches have seen over 5.5 goals this season. Start and Lynn, 2.37, the favourite in this kind of league. I'll get me coat. But you can have a quick look at the challenge table, which will give you a quicker synopsis in matches like this, where it's 2.37 the favourite, i.e. the market's saying, as football trader Les Dennis would say, would give the market a miss at 2.37 the favourite. So just a quick look at the challenge table and the streaks and sequences table. So streaks and sequences here. 2 consecutive home wins. No winning 3 away. Challenge table will tell you everything, where these 2 are in the league and how they get on. You see 13th against 8th. Start will be feeling relatively confident, but it's a very weird set of form, isn't it? You can beat 2nd and 6th, but then suddenly fail to score that second goal in all of these matches against 10th and lower. So, again, typifying the Obosligaen, isn't it? Absolutely patternless. Which start turns up? The one who's scoring shed loads against top 6 sides, or the one who can't score 2 goals against 10th and lower? And we've got right in no man's land in the middle, we've got Lynn. Lynn away from home, looking a bit pants, but then they haven't played really 10th and lower. And then you see they start picking up wins. So arguably Lynn might overperform, but we don't have that gauge. As you can see, they haven't played 10th to 15th. So that's the reason I would suspect 2.37 the favourite. When you see this, it's quite simply the market saying, I haven't got a clue, mate. So I'm going to give this one a miss. Vålerenga and Moss, 5 wins in 6 for Vålerenga, failing to score only once, only 1-0 at half time. All match. Well, that doesn't make sense. Must be all season. Second v third today, so watch out for that top 3 clash. But it's a one-way market, isn't it? If I can get this thing out of the way. 1.5. So a one-way market, given it's a top 3 clash. 5 out of 7 goals scored away have come second half for Moss. Yeah, Moss are third in the league, so they can't be third in the league because they're dodgy. Loss, draw, win away. 2+ goals scored in the last 3 away for Moss. So this is interesting. Do you trust the market here, or do you look at potential value in taking on Vålerenga, knowing it's a top 3 clash? Their opponents are the 3rd best form side early season. Possibly a goal before half-time. Possibility to lay Vålerenga if they score first, on the basis they're yet to score that second goal against the top 7. They don't look very good 1.5 favourites to me. Have they drifted at all? Now they've even shortened. So, again, like the Kongsvinger, does the market know something we don't? Because in a top 3 clash like this, with a side like Moss delivering, I don't understand why they've been so dismissed. But it could be this recent form, 5 wins in 6 for Vålerenga. Well, the friendlies continue, and a gentle reminder to you about friendlies. Gibraltar 0, Wales 0. These friendlies are being used, quite obviously, to check out peripheral squad players, try players in different positions than they normally would play, just to try a little bit of experimentation as well. So please remember that, particularly with these shorties. Italy, again, is another one of those sides. Very high odds in the winners' market for the Euros. I think they're backable. I've gone for Italy, Belgium. I've gone for Turkey, 130. They won their 3 away matches in qualifiers, including against Croatia. And I've gone for Croatia at 50s as well. All with trading in mind, particularly Croatia. If they can get through their group of death, then their odds are going to drop markedly. That's my first trading angle, really, for the Euros. We'll go into that into more detail next week. I think Italy have got something to prove as well. And do remember, Fiorentina and Atalanta, both involved in Europa League and Europa Conference League finals this season. So a real boon for Italian football. They're back in the Euros after that embarrassment of not qualifying with, was it Montenegro? So watch out. I expect a solid defensive display from the Italians today, but I wouldn't be playing necessarily. I might play if Bosnia score first. I think this is the Toulon tournament. I'm not too sure. I thought that was under 21s of Toulon, so I wouldn't be playing that anyway. France against Canada, local derby. Bonjour, Rodders. Slovakia, Wales. Don't have a clue about that one. Montenegro and Georgia, wouldn't be playing that 2.45, particularly given it's a friendly. So as ever on Telegram, there's not much for me to work with today, so please accept my apologies. Readability-wise, well, I like Kongsvinger. As I say, I thought their odds would be far shorter. Bryn, we're teetering with that 1-0. I'm not sure about that one at all. Mjøndalen have some good neutral plays. Both teams to score. No 0-0 at half-time. No clean sheets for Mjøndalen. Don't like that one at all. Which Ergerson turns up. And Vålerenga's odds look far too short. Are they going to be justified today? Can we lay them if they score first? Their odds will be short enough in the match odds market. So, again, I'll tentatively tell you that I'll see you members of footballtradingprofits.com on Telegram. But please remember, it's not the finest part of the season, and the opportunities to play are getting thinner. But tennis-wise, all eyes on Wimbledon next for the grass court season. Have a great day, and Telegrammers, I'll see you, I hope, throughout the day. If I can pick out one or two profitable plays, I'll be happy. Have a great Sunday.